What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel, and I would say that I've just seen Manchester United draw 1-1 with FC Twente, but my stream kept crashing and had multiple tabs open, but it just wasn't having it, so I probably only catched about 15-20 minutes of the game overall, but it was enough for me to kind of digest and understand what was happening and let you know my thoughts. Man United really did not deserve to win the game, even though they did take the lead in the first half. Twente grabbed an equaliser in the second half, and Twente, they came up to get a point, and they got a point in the end. And I felt like it was a good defensive performance from Twente. Oosting did set them up in a 4-2-3-1 formation, but when they were out of possession, which they were for most of the game, they went to a 4-5-1, and Man United really lacked that cutting edge in terms of cutting them open with regards to creating clear-cut chances. They just didn't open them up, often enough. And so Manchester United suffered with regards to kind of creating clear-cut chances, in my opinion. In terms of the lineup, it's a different lineup from what I predicted and what I would have wanted to see. He went with Onana, Dalot, Martinez, Maguire and Mazraoui at the back. So the only change was Harry Maguire coming in for De Ligt. Then you had Eriksen and Ugarte starting in midfield. Eriksen is starting his fourth game in a row. And it just really tells you all you need to know about the squad that Manchester United have right now still. When Eriksen, 32 years of age, he's starting his fourth game in a row, and it just it says a lot about the squad that Manchester United have right now. So Eriksen and Ugarte starting. Then you had Rashford, Bruno and Diallo starting in the forward positions with Zirkzee up front. So that was a starting lineup for Manchester United. I was surprised to see kind of Bruno start, because I didn't feel like as if he had a particularly good game against Palace, but he started anyway. So in terms of the game, FC Twente did actually have the first chance. 7 minutes gone, and a corner comes in from the left-hand side, and Man United don't deal with it. It goes right across to the other side, and Dalot actually picks it up, but he loses it on the right-hand side of the pitch. And then a ball comes in to Sam Lammers, and he hits it wide. And I think he probably should have scored, to be honest with you. But FC Twente getting the first big chance of the game, and I think it was a game few of kind of big chances. 26 minutes gone, Martinez heads it back across goal, and the number 2 for Twente deflects the ball towards the goal, but the keeper Unnerstall saves well. So that could have been an own goal which could have gone in for Man United to make it 1-0. But Manchester United did grab the goal in the 35th minute through Christian Eriksen, when Dalot makes a nuisance of himself in the penalty area, and the ball falls to Eriksen, who hits it first time into the back of the net. Top right hand corner. It was a very good strike from Christian Eriksen, but he goes from hero to zero in the second half, as I'll be getting on a little bit later. But FC Twente, they set up in a 4-5-1 like I mentioned before, and it was a good shape when they had a good defensive shape when Man United were in possession. FC Twente did have a good game. They set up really well, so the manager Oosting has to be credited. But in terms of Manchester United, the first half they had 54% possession, 8 shots and only 1 on target, which just shows you that during the first half how Twente limited Manchester United on taking shots at their keeper. Only 1 on target at Old Trafford. Despite having 8 shots, it just shows that Twente is having a good performance. And that 1 shot on target was that 1 goal from Eriksen, which was a very good goal, a screamer in fact. But in terms of that, 84% pass accuracy, and it was an average display really from Manchester United in the first half. Not really creating much in the final third. Ugarte looked a little bit poor. Bruno was ghosting as well. I don't think he was really in the game too much. But yeah, in terms of Twente, they had 3 shots, 1 on target. Man United had 26 touches in the opposition box. So not really much to say in the first half. It was a little bit of a poor first half, to be honest with you, from I think both sides. Twente, I think they're coming for a draw, so they kind of want Man United to come onto them and then break. I think that's what they were looking for. But in terms of Manchester United, they really need to be kind of pressing FC Twente high, not giving them opportunities, and kind of just peppering them with shots, because they're not a great side. if we're being honest. So yeah, that's the first half summarized. Second half, I mean, my stream's freezing. I'm not really catching the game, to be honest with you. So I do catch that Ahmad comes off for Garnacho. Ahmad, I think he had an okay game, but Ahmad and Rashford, either or of them could have come off for Garnacho, but Ahmad does come off for Garnacho. But Rashford's passing, I think, was a little bit poor as well. He could have easily been taken off. But FC Twente do grab the equaliser in the 68th minute when Eriksen loses it and Lammers is through on goal. It's a very poor goal to concede because it is Eriksen's mistake, yes, but there's a couple of things that kind of happen leading up to the goal. If I have a look, I think Harry Maguire kind of dives in for the equaliser. He hadn't put a foot wrong until needlessly diving in during the build-up to the equaliser, which left Man United short-handed and suddenly looked all at sea from there. So Harry Maguire, he kind of did play a part in Man United conceding the equaliser because he dove in, and even though Christian Eriksen scans and then he doesn't see Lammers, the goal scorer, run in from his blind side, Christian Eriksen needs to be doing better there. Just play the pass back to the goalkeeper, hold on to possession, and don't kind of turn like that when you're basically the last man. So he loses possession. Lammers is through on goal. He gives Onana the eyes and he shoots to his near post. Another goal that Onana's conceded at his near post. But I think Erik ten Hag did take a little bit of a long time to kind of make some substitutions. When Man United are 1-0 up, you need to be kind of scoring a couple more goals here because FC Twente are making some substitutions as well. If I have a look at what minute they made substitutions on the 60th minute and the 61st minute. So Oosting is reacting before Erik ten Hag reacts, and then they equalise, and then Erik ten Hag reacts a little bit late, in my opinion. The equalising comes in the 68th minute, and then he brings on Højlund, Mount and Mainoo in the 79th minute. 3 substitutions in the 79th minute, and Højlund and Mount didn't really offer too much, in my opinion. Mainoo did offer a little bit, so he was Man United's best player probably off the bench. But yeah, in terms of that, Bruno did go to the right wing, and I find it pretty insane that you're putting Bruno on the right wing when you're trying to score a goal. I'm not really a fan of that. I'm not really a fan of Erik ten Hag doing that, so Bruno on the right wing, not for me. I think he should have been taken off. Bruno Fernandes, Sky Sports have given him a 5 out of 10 for ratings. If I look at goal.com, they've given Bruno a what have they given Bruno? They've given Bruno a 6 out of 10. So I don't think Bruno kind of particularly had a great game. I think Zirkzee was a little bit wasteful as well in front of goal. He is a gifted footballer, but he didn't seem confident in the penalty area, and he needs to be kind of creating space for himself and trying to kind of put away a shot, and he just didn't kind of offer that. So yeah, in terms of, if I look at the kind of stats, it's kind of disappointing that Eriksen and Ahmad did come off as well, your most technical players. That doesn't make sense. Højlund came on, and his first touch and his passing was off. I think Mount was okay, but again, you've only got 10 minutes to kind of make an impact on the game. But Højlund coming on was probably the worst substitution. I think Garnacho and Mainoo, they had a decent impact when they came onto the pitch, but Mount and Højlund didn't really have too much of an impact when they came on. So yeah, in terms of Man United, they really didn't deserve to win this game. They did have a final chance in the 92nd minute when a corner comes in from Mount, and it's kind of pinball in the box. Harry Maguire heads it towards goal. It's deflected off a FC Twente player, and it's headed towards goal, but the keeper makes a save. So Man United did have a final chance to win the game, but unfortunately it didn't go in. So in terms of the full-time summary, I think Twente, they set up in a 4-5-1 formation out of possession in the first half, and I think they did switch to a 5 at the back. I think they switched to a 5-4-1 formation at the end of the second half, and they just made it very difficult for Manchester United to be playing through the centre of the pitch. And I think what Man United needed to do was kind of shift the ball out wide quickly and get your wingers into 1v1 positions, and thereby you take on your fullback, or you've got like or you have fullbacks making underlaps over the winger, so they're providing more width. But Man United didn't seem to do that. The space was out wide, and FC Twente, they came and they congested the pitch, and they made the centre of the pitch very congested. And there was no space in the centre, but Man United tried to keep playing the ball through the centre of the pitch where there's just no space there, unfortunately. So I think that's something that needs to be looked at with regards to moving forward. Man United should be really pressing as much as they can and getting into different positions to confuse FC Twente. As you know, we really should be beating this side like 4-5-0, to be honest with you. But it just wasn't to be. In terms of stats, Man United had 57% possession, 19 shots, 5 on target, and with a pass accuracy of 85%. They had 54 touches in the opposition box compared to 20's 14. So in terms of that, they did kind of dominate in terms of kind of touches in the box and possession, but in terms of creating clear-cut opportunities whereby you're working the keeper, Manchester United just didn't really do that. Unlike Crystal Palace, whereby the keeper, Dean Henderson, was man of the match. Man United really didn't kind of... they didn't really kind of create that many goal-scoring opportunities, in my opinion. If I have a look at the Palace game, United had... they actually had 33 touches in the opposition box. The keeper for Palace, Dean Henderson, he made 7 saves compared to Man United's 4 against Palace. But in this game, you had the goalkeeper for Twente make 5 saves compared to Onana's 2. And Man United, like I said before, 54 touches in the opposition box compared to FC Twente's 14. So they're getting into the box, they're getting into the right positions, but it's that final ball, that final shot on goal, which they're just not getting across. That final pass in the final third just wasn't coming off for them, unfortunately. So it was a very frustrating game to watch. They really should be kind of cutting FC Twente open and scoring at will. They're not a great side, in my opinion. But defensively they are good, and they had a couple of opportunities on the break, which if they were a little bit more clinical in the final third with regards to their passing, they could have really punished Manchester United. But in terms of final thoughts, Ugarte, in my opinion, cannot pass. McUgarte does not pass the eye test, unfortunately, so the jury is still out on him. Honestly, I don't think he's going to be a particularly good signing for Manchester United. Man United, really, they should have gone for, unless he replaces Casemiro, so I'm not kind of sure how Ineos and Man United are kind of looking at the situation with regards to Casemiro. I think he's 33 years old or 32 years old. He kind of needs to be moved on. He might be a replacement for Ugarte, but personally, I would have gone for a kind of ball-playing central midfielder that is press-resistant and can kind of has a good range of passing. Someone like, obviously, a younger Christian Eriksen or a younger Toni Kroos. That would have been a very good signing for me, in my opinion. But in terms of Ugarte, the jury is still out on him. McUgarte, McUgarte, I don't flipping know. Like, he just, the jury is still out on him. He doesn't pass the eye test. And in terms of that, Manchester United really did not deserve to win this game. And so they're coming away with only 1 point in the first match off the Europa League league stage. And it's not a great result. Because you've got 4 games at home, 4 games away, and drawing your first game at home to Twente is not a good result, really. It's really a team that you should be beating comfortably, especially at Old Trafford. In terms of some good points, I felt like defensively Manchester United were pretty good. I think Mazraoui, Maguire, Martinez and Dalot were decent, apart from Maguire kind of diving in for that equaliser. That was the only thing that he put wrong. It kind of, Christian Eriksen has said, we don't lose, but it feels like a loss. And it doesn't necessarily feel like a loss for me. I think it just feels like as if Manchester United didn't deserve to win the game. They didn't create enough opportunities for them to come away with all 3 points, and that's very unfortunate. Hopefully it's not the same like it is last season with regards to Manchester United's form up and down, but I don't think Man United are going to be finishing in the top 4. I think the Europa League is the kind of competition that Man United to be winning if they want to get Champions League football. And they really need to be winning this competition if they want to be competing in the Champions League next season. And this is just not a good result. 2 draws on the bounce, and they've got Spurs on the weekend, which I'm not confident for either. If Man United had picked up a win against Palace or today, I would have been more confident against for that game against Spurs, but I'm not feeling confident against that game against Spurs. Even if like Man United scored a couple of goals and still come away with a draw, I would have been a little bit more confident. But since Man United are not scoring goals, I'm just not feeling confident for that game against Spurs on the weekend. Anyway, that's it for the review. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.